Hi everyone, Ted from LTM Simply. This article today I came across, it's called The Most Popular Retirement Ages, and this was posted yesterday. Right here, as I was reading, I wanted to share with you guys. It talks about they did a survey in 2022 in January, and the survey states the report was conducted in January 2022 by Employee Benefit Research Institute and Greenwald Research. In this article, we look at some highlights of the report. Here are some of the key findings. About 70 to 80% of workers surveyed said that feel confident they have enough money to live comfortably throughout retirement. 1 in 3 said they were very confident. 1 in 3. Okay. Nearly 40% of workers and 20% of retirees say they don't know how to turn to for a financial or retirement planning advice. The reason I believe they do not want to is because they are not willing to pay the fee. So what they do is they just don't do anything. And most of the financial advisors, further down, I remember it talks about it, they inquire somewhere around $500,000 or a flat fee of around $3,000 to $4,000. So most of the people they're not willing to pay that fee. In the long run, granted, it will be great. You probably will get the money plus more, but people are not willing to pay for something that they're not sure what's going to happen tomorrow. Here's the next thing. Most current workers said they plan to retire at age 65, which is 5 years before many will be able to draw their maximum Social Security benefits. So you see what's happening here? A lot of people want to withdraw at 65, and sometimes some of them will think as, oh, if I can get the max out of it will be at 70, so let me just wait and not withdraw. The problem is what's happening this past couple years with all these issues, health issues. People are dropping left and right. So in your mindset, planning, it's something that you can't control. You could do the best that you can with putting some numbers and adding few things here and there, but at the end result is you do not know the day that the Lord is going to call you home. So if you're trying to do math but you do not know the end date, it's kind of like doing a trip from point A to point B and you don't know where the point B is. So in my perspective, instead of just focusing on plan B, which you never know when will that day be, concentrate more on clearing debt. That's why I truly believe in the mindset that if you have no debt, you have that peace, and it doesn't matter if you live till 70 or 100. So keep that in mind. That's where I kind of focus the most with the clients that I help. All right, retiring before 65 can come with many challenges, especially if you are trying to capitalize on your earning years fully being over 65. Clark is eligible for retirement but has chosen to wait until he's 70 before he start collecting Social Security. So now, Clark Howard, I really like the guy. It's a really intelligent, smart. I learned a lot from him when I was in my early 30s, and that's where the time when I was looking into figuring out where to invest, what to do with my investments. And he's in his website, he talks a lot about good tips. The only thing that I don't agree with this remark, this does not apply to everyone. Clark loves what he does. He is pretty much doing his talk show. He is enjoying the type of work. He pretty much found his gig. With the rest of the people that are 65, they are working in a job. They are very stressful. They are not happy. So this does not apply to that individual that is having health issues and can't pretty much do anything, but is forcing himself to stay there for 5 more years so he can get the most out of Social Security. And then right before 7, he drops. So be very careful. Don't read these articles and take everything for that applies to you. This is for some individuals that might have their own business, or they work part-time at a job they are very happy to do, or in my case, I enjoy volunteering in certain areas that I'm not getting paid at all, but because the joy of serving and being there, it doesn't feel like work. So if you find the type of gig and you're getting paid on top of it, that's fine. But don't stay in a job that you're miserable, you are having health issues, so you can wait until 70 because tomorrow is not promised. Okay, further down here, I looked at this. It says when most workers plan to retire, 70 plus is 14%, 66 to 69 is 12%, 65 is 24, as you can see the numbers, and then under 55 is 5%, and some don't plan to retire. So under 55, if it's 5%, what that tells me is that people like to buy stuff. Retirement is a very bad name because when you say retire, people think that you just sit back and you don't do anything. As long as you have breath in your lungs and as long as you're waking up every morning, it doesn't matter if you're 55 or 70. You do not stop from moving. You do not stop from serving. You do not stop from doing what God called you to do. The moment you stop doing those things and you isolate yourself, then you're going to have some major health, mental, all kind of issues. All right, further down here it says how to save for retirement. Consider a financial advisor. In the report, many workers said that they didn't know how or know where to go for financial advice and planning for retirement. That's where a financial advisor come in. To get started, Clark's advice that you think about that what service you want a financial advisor to provide. The reality is the biggest problem for most people is just getting the money into an account and getting it invested, Clark says. For most people starting out, you don't need professional advice. I like that. See that right here, guys? That's what I've been telling everyone. You do not need in the beginning stages professional advice. You go into the Clark's Howard website, you go check into so many YouTube videos out there. You just open an account, you put it in a total stock market index fund, and you just keep investing for the long run. For those that do not need some professional help, Clark loves Vanguard Professional Advisor Service, a full service option that requires a minimum investment of $500,000. This is the problem right here. Most of the people are between $5,000 to $50,000. So in this case, they don't qualify for this. So what they do is they don't do anything and they just leave the money in a target data fund, and they're wondering why their investment portfolio is not getting their full potential. Take advantage of workplace retirement saving plans. So let's stay back here again. So right here, what I'm seeing is that if you go to Clark Howard's website, he will point out few of the investments like ETFs, some total stock market index funds, some of the small caps, mid caps. All that information is there, and he explains it in detail. So if you guys have more question when it comes to a specific retirement advice, Clark Howard has a great website that he talks about it, and that's where I learned a lot actually in the beginning. This was way before the YouTube became popular. All right, take advantage of workplace retirement. This is another thing. The younger you start, the better it is. Clark's referring to financial security says on his podcast. And that's exactly what I did. When I first started working at the job, I didn't know much about, investing in my workplace retirement. As I started listening to Clark Howard, this was in 2009, 8, 9, 2010. Then I started investing in my 401 plan with the employer. It says here that is why he's a big fan of taking advantage of employer sponsors 401k plan. Playing with the employer match typically gives you 50 cents on the dollar, up to 6% of the salary. I was very fortunate at my job. They were giving us a 12% and we didn't have to do any match. So what I did, I took the 12% that the 401 plan had that was kind of like granted part of the job, and I kind of like put another 15 to 20% to increase my contribution. And that was the main reason why I was able to save based on taking the information, putting the money for the long run. And the market, we did such an amazing, the last 10 years was such an amazing market that the 401 portfolio kind of like tripled. And most of the people that I work with, they were there for 35, 40 years, and their portfolio was pretty much the same or less than mine. And they didn't understand it because they weren't doing anything as far as putting money in out of their matching contribution or investing in the right stocks. That most of them were in the target data fund, and some of them were in just a stable value account. So that's when I learned the most, and I was helping as many people at the time when I was at the employer, because I learned from Clark Howard. And that's when I realized that most of the people are not focusing or paying attention to these things. Okay, read about the 401k match and how it works. I'm gonna put his website so you guys can click and you can read all this on your own. Invest your saving outside your workplace. Here's another great tool that I kind of did. Besides your employer, there are ways to invest your money with retirement savings in mind. One option that Clark likes is a tax-free Roth IRA, and that's what I did. On my 2012, I believe, I started maxing the Roth IRA, thanks to Clark and his talk shows and his newsletter. I got motivated. I went to his website. I learned a lot of information when it came about retirement. A Roth IRA is the most efficient place for you to have money grow for your retirement, because the money it grows tax free and is spent tax free, Clark says. And that's the best advice that anyone can give. And here I did, it says right here, read our guide on how you can become a millionaire with an IRA. Again, I'm going to link this page so you guys can click in and learn more. And he has some great tips where to invest and what areas to look for. Final thoughts. When it comes to age, Clark says the main thing to remember is that it's never too late to start investing in your future. Whatever you've been able to do, whatever you've done, that is what you have been able to do up to this point. Clark said, from here, it's all about where you are now and how you're going to move forward. So it's definitely a great, and this is Clark right here, definitely great information. So what we getting from this is, don't listen to negativity, just invest for the long run, and you'll be amazed. 15, 20 years will go by real fast, and you're going to be very thankful. Wish you guys the best. Till next time. Also, I'm going to link my website. If you have any questions or if you need to utilize the tools that I have in my website, feel free. Till next time.